So this is Kal Kat, the Calcaster, and this is a quick review of I'm going to go through the 3 episodes of Obi Wan Kenobi, or at least 1 or 2 of them so far. The first episode takes place roughly 10 years after Star Wars: Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. Allegedly 10 years, even though it's been way more than 2005 to. Well, it's way after 2015. It's actually been more like 15, 16 years chronologically. Yeah, so he's been living on Tatooine. There's an evil dude with a salad hat on his head, looking for Jedi with a pasty white face, but he's clearly Asian. There's evil black lady that's looking for Jedi, and she's cocky. She's probably not related to anybody. There's this other master guy that's looking for yeah. Obi Wan Kenobi's been playing Ben Kenobi. He might match up to Alice Guinness at all, but okay, why not? It's supposed to be only 8 years later his return to his first Star Wars, New Hope. So so this is like supposed to be 18 or 19. Luke is 18 or 19 in that movie. So Luke is 10 in this, so he's got to be he's not really mentioned though. Uncle Owen doesn't want him around, which is consistent with the timeline. The Obi-Wan's acting kind of like Luke did as an old man in the prequels, in the sequels, but he kind of was. So yeah, there were already some people out there objecting to that concept idea. But yeah, like doing the prequels, they're telling us stuff we don't necessarily need to know, like how was Vader formed in the first place from this annoying little kid beyond that. So how do we know? So it's the same thing. Do we need to see little kid Leia get kidnapped by space raiders? Maybe not. On Organa, and you get to see Organa, which gets destroyed in the New Hope. So the planet where she escapes, the princess. I think he's more than a senator; he's a king, because she's a princess. She's got to be a king, right? Princess, king. She's got to be a king, right? He has a cousin. That's who. Not sure who that was supposed to be. Not sure the cousins are involved in the kidnapping without ransom. Well, of course, there's a kidnapping. Deborah Chow directed this. Yeah. Anyway, I produced it, and Owen McGregor produced it, and Gavin Kenobi. Well, what it means is they produced it is they put up some money for it. So a bunch of people put up money for it when they produced it. The producer is in charge of getting the director, and the producer also hires the writers and the cast and all that stuff. Puts up the money. The producer puts up the money. That's how it works. Hollywood, see. So the writers are not responsible for the bad writing of a script, necessarily, because the director is supposed to direct it any way they can. So if the script is really, really bad, rewrite it. But a lot of modern TV shows and movies are written by committee, as was this one. And so they have the problem of too many cooks and not enough oversight. But they don't have a Kevin Feige on the Star Wars end going in there. They had a little bit of that, but for some of them, but not too much. Yeah, so some of that is a little off. Yeah, and the first episode works. It's all right, but it seems like the Mandalorian stuff. Tatooine Mandalorian adventure. We don't think he was always on the planet the whole time. If they're objecting to that, that's silly. So the objections they're making aren't really valid with just one episode out of the gate. The hoops they had to go through to make this canon outweigh the criticisms of it so far. And Obi Wan is leaving on a transport at the end, I guess, to go and help or something. And it's a galaxy. I don't know how they're going to find anything. But yes, but he could have done that. That's possible. Considering the original fight in the original A New Hope, which was originally just called Star Wars, back in the day in '77. Considering originally the lightsaber fight between Vader and him was really brief, and he was gone. Really brief. Because they didn't know how to film that back then. So that's my quickie review of what they're calling Part 1. Just I'm giving it a name. Just Part 1. Obi Wan Kenobi Part 1. That's fine so far. Just like Mando, it's just information we don't necessarily need. Mando took place before the new sequels. Mandalorian thing. Or did it take place a little after the new sequels? No, it took place before the new sequels. That's right, because in the 30 years between, it had to be. That's what it was. This one's in the other 15-year period that's between the other show. 18-year period between the prequels and Star Wars. I think the breakout character is little girl Leia, though, who is actually the actor is more on point there than the other ones, which is funny. Plays an upper crusty, haughty sort of spoiled person quite well. Anyway, so next. I hope the previous story was called Obi Wan Kenobi Part 1. This is Obi Wan Kenobi Part 2. In brief, Obi Wan Kenobi tracks the kidnappers to a planet, Jingo or something. It was sort of like Hong Kong crossed with like Vegas, crossed with like dingy underbelly of like that border worlds kind of thing. And finds Leia, and the kidnappers try to trap him a couple times. There's also a fake Jedi played by, I think this is one of the dudes from Ant-Man. I think he's been in other stuff too. He might have been in Harold and Kumar as well. And he plays a fake Jedi using magnets and stuff. Tries to help them to escape. The evil lady, Inquisitor lady, is looking for them, and she effectively kills her boss at the end, so that she can do whatever she wants. It's not clear where she sticks, and it fits in the other universe, though. She's supposed to be one of the younglings or something. What is she? That Anakin killed them all. I'm not sure what's going on there. Him trying to get Leia to listen to what was funny. There was several hijinks. Not ultimately a great episode, but certainly all right. Very dingy and dark looking. He saves her from falling. Improves his Jedi powers, or whatever. But there's like a Bacta tank breathing heavy Darth Vader scene. And for some reason, the Inquisitor lady knows that it's Anakin. I guess that's Darth Vader, and mentions it to him that he lives. But how does she know that? Unless she was there when he was like rejuvenated into whatever. She know that. She just know his Jedi powers, and why would he keep somebody with a Jedi around? That's a dark Jedi. Ooh, that would be somebody who could usurp him later. Yeah, some of that does make sense. But then again, they have magic laser swords and floating technology, so Yeah, so was episode 2 in Kenobi. And yeah, that's pretty much the quickie review. It was alright. It was a little too convenient. Everybody's rescued onto an escape freighter at the end and getting away. And yeah, so okay, that was quick. But I'm okay with Ben Kenobi going on other missions. Wasn't just there the whole time on Tatooine, staring across the desert. Because that makes sense that he wouldn't be. So the people that are complaining about that, it's like, he wouldn't stay there the whole time. Come on. That's but yeah, so that doesn't bother me. Yeah. It's closer to some of the non-canon books and things too. So the expanded universe. Other stuff that's going on. Splinter of the Mind's Eye, that kind of thing. Alan Dean Foster territory. So yeah, a little bit of that. Why not just crib from the extended universe, the EU as they call it. Why not do that? Okay, so that's my review of episode 2. I'm going to go on to episode 3. Okay, the Kal Kat's turn. I caught up on Obi Wan Kenobi. This is episode 3. They go to a mining planet on their way on a trade route, I guess, even though that doesn't make sense. And they sort of introduce us to Vader. It's on some reason on Nestifer, and then on some other oceanic planet. The double crossing intended lady is double crossed again by the other guy. They go to the mining planet. The pig guy on the mining planet double crossed. Everybody gets double crossed. Get back to the city, dead mining planet, and then there's like a fight, lightsaber duel between Vader and Obi-Wan, improving on the one from the G1. However, he tries to set him on fire. Meanwhile, we have the they clearly used somebody that sounded a little like James Earl Jones but wasn't, because it's not clearly somebody imitating him, and Hayden Christensen I think is in this one, but he's in the outfit. I'm not sure. I think so. Probably. Yeah, I guessed. Yeah, so even though it kind of contradicts A New Hope, but it kind of doesn't, because it didn't say they didn't meet during that time period. I don't think Lucas intended for that to happen. To get burned again. And then to have a lightsaber fight, and then have the bad guy lady. Apparently, well, there was a good lady who was trying to get them to safety and stuff, and shot the fire and put it out. And fire started up again, and then he escaped, and it was kind of confusing. I think what happened is they blocked the Vader, even though Vader was choking bad guys, good guys, and people in the street randomly. And he couldn't sense that they were blocking it. That doesn't make sense, because that part was a little silly, but because he would still sense it. The part that everybody's complaining about currently is the ending moments in which the bad guy, black lady from before, who was on that weird Hong Kong like planet. It kind of looked like with the neon signs and all that. Hong Kong, Vegas, and Underworld. Leia doesn't somehow recognize that person from before. Tried to nab her before, so she would know, like, immediately. Like, this is the bad guy. So I guess it's a cat and mouse game for the next 3 episodes, where they're trying to get her back or something. I don't know. Because they didn't want to make it about Luke, they made it about Leia. They made her sort of the aggro of the new series. But yeah, the little baby Yoda. Yeah. So, well, silly, but it worked. I don't think it was as bad as they said it was. Some of the critics were going, especially like Pina Show and one of the other ones were going, no, the third one's really bad. And the people were complaining, oh, the third one's really bad. Oh, it's like, it's not really bad when you consider, like, it's better than what they did with those neutrino scooter people in the middle of Book of Boba Fett. It's way better than that. That was dumb. Or bringing in Cad Bane for no reason at the end. They all thought that was great and cool and everything, but in that series, but it didn't make sense. Like, introduce that villain way back, not in the very second to last episode. Introduce in the beginning. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, do that. Just make him. I'm the hunter guy. I'm the hunter guy at the end. That's one of the tropes of a mystery is throwing in a villain at the last minute who you didn't expect because it didn't make sense. Yeah, written by committee. They clearly didn't know what they were doing. Then again, George Lucas given carte blanche to write Indiana Jones 5 and 2 of the prequels. Probably wasn't a good idea either, but somewhere in between is the happy medium. But yeah. Or 4. Indiana Jones 4. Probably didn't write 5. Anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much all of it. That was pretty much so far all caught up with Obi Wan Kenobi. It wouldn't have made a good movie. Yeah. Ewan McGregor chewing scenery. Yeah. Yeah. It's not as out of character as they're implying. However, it still doesn't. It's not as out of character as the Boba Fett movie. Anyway, it's the Boba Fett series. I didn't even bother with Hawkeye because I don't care about Hawkeye.